Let's talk about some of the issues in this campaign, and we want to run a clip from an ad from your opponent, Jim Martin. Here it is.
Listen to Saxby Chambliss.
We may not be in a recession. I don't know what that term means.
Saxby Chambliss doesn't understand what a recession means.
Your opponent, Jim Martin, says that you voted for the Bush policies that got us into this mess, and he notes that you voted for the $700 billion bailout in September. He voted against it.
Well, he says he would have voted against it. Of course, the guy that he's joined at the hip with, President-elect Obama, voted for it. You know, that clip's interesting. That was about 4 seconds out of a 40-minute speech I gave that morning, in which, incidentally, when I made that statement, I was quoting Alan Greenspan, who I have a lot more confidence in than I do Mr. Martin's judgment on the economy.
But Senator, may I just bring you up on that? Because that quote, when you said, I don't know if we're in a recession, I don't know what that means, you said that in July of this year, and in fact in April of this year, several months before, Alan Greenspan had said we're headed into a recession.
Yeah, well, you know, there was a real question about what is the definition of a recession. Chris, if you'll remember, it was supposed to be 2 consecutive months of negative GDP, and at that point in time, we hadn't seen that. But, you know, economists disagree on the technical definition of recession, and obviously that's what I was talking about. But the fact is, here's what I did know, and this is what I said then and what I continue to say now. People in Georgia are hurting. We're the 5th, number 5 state in foreclosures. We have folks who are losing their jobs, and what I want to do is make sure that we put Georgians back to work. Those that are working, we keep their jobs, and we got to have policies in place that will do that. That's exactly what I was talking about then and what I continue to talk about now.
But Senator Chambliss, the Martin camp says that you have been far too trusting of Treasury Secretary Paulson and the bailout, which you voted for. And they point out to what you said, and we're going to put it up on the screen, a couple of weeks ago. You said, if the smart people in the financial community think this is the best way to go, I think we have to respect that. I do trust folks who deal with these issues on a daily basis, like folks in the financial community. Senator, after everything we've seen in the last month or so, do you still trust Wall Street, and would you still vote for the financial bailout?
Well, I didn't say I trust Wall Street. I said people in the financial community. And I think Hank Paulson is a smart guy, and I listen to what he says. But he's not the only one I listen to. Listen, I talk to dozens and dozens of bankers in Georgia, both from small community banks to big banks. I talk to business people who were seeing their lines of credit pulled and were starting to having to lay people off. Those are the kinds of people that I listen to make sure that we put policies in place that are going to free up this credit market, going to ease this crunch that we find ourselves in. And, you know, there comes a point in time, from a military standpoint, you trust your military leadership. From a business standpoint, you have to trust business leaders. And sure, I've listened to those folks, and sure, I've based my opinions on what they've said.